Welcome to On Air with Kash. Our guest today has appeared in the hit series Bloodline. She started Delivery Girl, which premiered at Sundance. You can catch her as Renee in the new feature film The Fabelmans, directed by Steven Spielberg. Please welcome Chandler Lovelle.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Chandler, thank you so much for joining us today. What a week this is for you. You have this new movie with Spielberg coming out. What was it like, the process of going out on this audition, booking the role, and then being on set and working with Spielberg?
I auditioned I think July of 2021, and it was probably one of the hardest auditions I've ever had. They were just like the most complex set of dummy sides, and it was a real challenge. And I worked with my coach on it, felt good about it, sent in the tape. They asked for some more material, and then before I knew it, I was in fittings a couple weeks later and shooting a couple weeks after that. So it was all a whirlwind experience.
Just growing up, I mean, E.T., Back to the Future, those were movies that were just always on television. Jurassic Park. I'm old enough to remember when that ride came out after we saw it as a little kid and just like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. So Universal has really been a part of my childhood and inspiration
Yeah.
for me to wanting to get in film. So now you're on set with Steven Spielberg. What was this artistic process like for you?
Oh my gosh. It was definitely a shock. Things happen so quickly in the industry. One week you have nothing, and then the next week you're like on set with Steven Spielberg, and they kept the project really under wraps. I really had to do some digging to figure out that he was the director. And then, of course, that freaked me out a little bit for the audition, but it all worked
You
out.
didn't, not to cut you off, but so you had no idea this was his. This was just an audition. And then at what point did you find out he was actually the director?
It said Untitled Amblin feature. And so I knew Amblin was his production company and that he had just signed a deal with Netflix. So everyone probably assumed that it was just one of the Netflix projects that's directed by somebody else. And I was like, this is interesting. Like, so hard to find information on this. And I kept digging and digging. And I don't know how I figured it out, but eventually I did. I found an article where I think they had attached like Paul Dano or someone already. And I was like, oh, this description is the same. This is directed by Mr. Spielberg himself. Okay. Pretty wild. And then after that, it was really cool. I love period pieces. They are my favorite thing to do, just to teleport to another time. And Spielberg's movies are iconic. I mean, of course, like I grew up with The Terminal and Jurassic Park and E.T., of course, and all of his projects. And it was just so surreal being on set with him. I almost didn't believe it. It was in COVID times, hardcore, and he was like in a hat and in a mask and in sunglasses, and I was like, is that really him? Like, am I being punked here? But of course, it was him. And it was such a cool experience on set. He's just the greatest and the kindest, most collaborative director ever.
I love hearing stories like that. Is there anything that you can tell us about your character Renee in this film?
The story of the Fabelmans is loosely based on Steven Spielberg's childhood. So Renee is one of the high schoolers that he goes to high school with, and she causes some trouble, and she's the catalyst for a lot of things that happen to some of the characters, and she kind of stirs the pot, I'll say.
Okay, all right. You did mention Spielberg. There's always these elements of how he grew up that he puts in his work. I understand he's very collaborative. Did you find that while you were on set, and do you have any specific experiences?
Yes, absolutely. I heard after the fact that he does this all the time, but I didn't know it going into it. So when I showed up on set the first day, a lot of the scenes we did were spur of the moment. He thought of it on the spot and was just like, okay, can you guys set up this shot? We're gonna have this little vignette here. Or he went up to one of the other girls and was like, okay, I need you to have a tear in your eye. You've got like 30 seconds. And then she had like 30 seconds to like get emotional. I was like, it was just crazy. And then a lot of the stuff we ended up doing, and he just sees it as it's happening, and then you just get thrown right into it. And he'll add lines, he'll let you make up lines and just collaborate on new little scenes that will be dispersed throughout the movie. I thought that was the coolest thing. I never thought that such a huge director would be so collaborative and have so much trust. That was the thing, because it was all via self-tape and all virtual auditioning. So was like, wow, I'm so honored that he trusts me that much. But it was so fun. It was so cool. You don't have time to think. So you're just doing, you're just being as the character. And it turned out well.
Chandler, I am really just honored to have you on the show today. I'm an admirer of your work. I am so proud of you and your career. Anything that you'd like to shout out?
Thank you, by the way. And I guess I'd just like to say, keep going. If you want to stop, you're about to strike gold. So keep a positive attitude, keep in class, keep going, have confidence in yourself. And yeah, the longer you stay at the table, the cards will come to you. So work hard.
That was beautiful and insightful. I love it. I really, again, can't thank you enough for your time today. Everyone, give it up for Chandler Lovelle. Follow her on Instagram. She's in the new movie, The Fabelmans. Your career is on a roll. You're only going to go higher from here. Chandler, please drop in when you're promoting your next film, and I wish you all the best. You keep rocking.
I will. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Anytime. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and Chandler Lovelle today. You are on air with Kash.